What's really going on around here? Hey, everybody, I'm the Admiral, Tommy Scoble, and you are on the lifeboat. How are you? You know something? It's funny you say that, Casey, because I'm a little tired. Casey says, hopefully you aren't too tired from all your packing duties. We've been going pretty hardcore. Look at this. Nothing. Not even wearing a watch. That's not something you see very often with me, I assure you. But I've been going full bore, as is Quibble and her boy, he's a hardworking kid. He really is, young man. He's an asset and a really good indication of the fact that she did a pretty good job raising that kid. He's a hell of a boy. He really is. Kestrel, good to see you. Sandy Wendy, how are you? I live for now. I do too. West Coast Fancy Nancy, glad you're here. I really am. Kristen Melinda, howdy. Debbie P, there you are. Kenny, how are you? I hope you're well. I'm feeling it. I did take a good shot to the head yesterday, as I was telling you. And Kevin Hawthorne from Lakeland, Florida. Good to see you, my brother. I'm glad that you're here. Hi, Lynn Sanity. Paula Pendley, Layla Bradley, Kevin Pooley. We got the gang. Hey, Joni Allen. Aspire to Inspire. Always loved that name. Really, that's a beautiful name, man. I aspire to inspire myself. We try. Gemini girl, 65. Good to see you. Body illusion. My face is smiling too. I feel pretty good about myself. People, I really do. I'm starting to feel pretty good about myself. I feel like we've made a lot of progress here, right? If you were to go into to Quib's place, right by the front door is boxes. I mean, like floor to damn near ceiling. We've got a lot of boxes done. So Caroline in Canada, Sandy Wendy, awakened by the looking glass reflection. I'm so effing angry right now. Flipping, that would be. Very glad to see some friendly faces at this moment. I'm about to blow the heck up and I need calmed down. Well, you've come to the right place. Hey, Judy Lee. Hey, Crafty Witch. You know what's really funny? I'm not even being funny, but this is actually a legitimate thing. I don't know if you've ever gone to a hospital, and you've had something going on with you that can get you stressed out, right? A lot of medical conditions can get you stressed out. Some are considerably worse than others because they cause us to panic, right? Very often things associated with our lungs and our ability to breathe will get us very, very dicey. If things aren't feeling right, we start getting really, right? It kind of freaks us out. Just checked my email and they deemed that piece of shit is incompetent to hold trial. Let me tell you something. I'm sorry, and I need you to take a deep breath, and I know that you're upset, right? But let's talk about this, because this is something that people don't, and I'm not saying you, I'm talking to all my other friends here, but most people don't understand what this looks like or means at all, right? True story. This is one of those things that we talk about all the time that I don't think people have any idea. I'll tell you a story. I remember sitting in a county jail with a guy who had a really high IQ. Right? This cat was super intelligent. Charlie Mullins Murphy, how are you, my friend? I'm glad that you're here. So the deal is, this guy was sharp as hell, super sharp. And he was sitting down and talking to me. He was accused of kidnapping. And what he did was just kind of messed up. He and a couple of guys were trying to get drugs. And the dealer didn't want to give the stuff up. So they grabbed him and took him someplace. Well, it's kidnapping, right? You're in deep trouble. But he decided he was going to try to beat it by getting deemed unfit to stand trial. And I said to him, I don't think you understand what that means. And I don't think you want to do it. And he said, no, man, I got this. They're believing me. I said, well, I don't think that's the hard part. Well, old homeboy was successful, and they deemed him, he was not fit to stand trial. They decided that he could not aid in his own representation, and that is usually the benchmark. Are they sane enough to participate in their own defense? They decided he was not, and instead of going to prison, he got sent to a psychiatric place instead of prison. In fact, he never even went to the trial because he couldn't. He's not fit to stand trial. And he was looking at almost 10 years, and they only gave him 3 years in that mental ward. Kind of looked like he won the lottery. But you know what he did? He did 3 years in there, and then they deemed him okay. Not okay to go home, Okay to stand trial. Yeah, okay to stand trial. When you get deemed uh, unfit to stand trial, doesn't mean you're going home. Ain't no way in hell. What it means is that the meters were not even running yet. You haven't started your tab. They're going to hold you there until they deem you fit to stand trial. Then you're going to stand trial. It's not a score. I promise you. Many a dumb inmate has tried to play that card, but you run into guys that have done time, right? Guys that have been down a while, and you'll see the old guys going, "Oh, brother, I don't think you want to play the crazy card." Right? And I'm not being rude. That's what they call it. I've seen things you wouldn't believe for people who are trying to because they thought they could beat. There was a guy that I'm just going to tell you this. It's the foulest thing you've ever heard, but I'm going to tell you the story. And there's a lot of convicts who will. This is a pretty famous story. This story got around, but there was a guy who was in the feds. Correct. Correct. He is going to sit in there until he is deemed okay. Once he's deemed okay, we're going to take him on back and we're going to have that trial. You do not get to hang out, right? You do not get to head on home. Dang, I've missed you too. Tampa B, man. I love Tampa B. Lumen, good to see you. Nappy from Canada. What's crapping it? Goddess Divine. There you are. Kristen B. Did I miss anybody? Leslie Girl, what's going on with you? Yeah, Joni Allen. This is no joke. Hey, Scoob. This is no joke. This is what happens. They will sit there until the time is deemed right. So there was a guy that was looking at a grip of time for bank robbery. Another one of those really high IQ guys. I figured he had it beat. And I'm not joking. This is a true story, right? They have to unhandcuff you when you're in trial, right? I mean, when you're in court, they take your cuffs off. Your ankles are still shackled, but you don't want to look like this guy. They want you to look a little more normal. But he had packed his the crevice in his backside, the one that you sit on. He had packed with Nutella and chunky peanut butter, which he had kind of blended into a really disgusting looking mash. And when the judge asked him whether or not he understood the charges that had been read to him, he put his hands down his pants, pulled some of that out of his butt crack, and kind of started wiping it all over his face. It's a true story. I'm not telling you this to be foul or disgusting, but it was kind of a legendary move in the feds. And the funny thing is, worked like a charm, right? The judge said, obviously, there's something wrong with this cat, right? Category 5, J cat, right? Category J, this cat is going away to a place until they can deem him okay to go and stand trial. And he can stay there as long as he'd like, right? Might be 5 years, might be 10 years, but, right, you're going to have to stand trial. You are absolutely going to have to stand trial. It's so easy to fool the system. All you have to tell them is that ABBA is responsible for some of music's greatest songs. You know what's funny? It's funny that you should say that because we had to ASC. What's happening? So today I was actually out on a trip to pick up boxes, and you got to get them in like 25 sizes, right? Because you got to get boxes large enough that you can put everything in the home in them and tape them up. Those are the massive ones, and then you get down to like I don't want to say small because they're like I don't know, man. They're like medium-sized boxes or whatever. But on the way to go pick these up, I was in the car with Quibs and her boy, and she was rocking like I don't know how you do it. It's hooked up to like your iPhone or whatever. But we weren't listening to the radio. She was pumping in music that she had in some kind of a I don't know Sony music or whatever that kind of thing. And well, to make a long story short, there was quite a bit of ABBA on there, and I'm not taking any crap for ABBA. What am I doing? I'm sorry, people, but somebody from my 5. Man, I'm sorry. Somebody bear with me here real quickly because this is jacked up. There we go. There you go. There you go. So, yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a huge fan of ABBA, and I'm not going to apologize for being a big fan of ABBA. You hear me? I'm not. It's on the real. this is one of those bands that you're either going to be a fan or you're not going to be a fan. It's kind of like the Bee Gees. They sing in a slightly higher register, right? So yeah, the songs were a little tough. If you change your mind, come on, man. That's comment sounded a little like Alice's Restaurant. Acting crazy for you know what, Body Illusion? Uh, Body Illusion. I'm not putting you on blast, right? But if you come out with a yeah, it's a great song by Melissa. If you come out with a comment about Alice's Restaurant, I'm sad to say that that might date you just a little bit. You feel me? Wait a sec, Tommy. How can you be live? But Reese is due to start in a minute. I didn't know that she was due to start in a minute. People, I had no idea. But if you don't go over and check her out now, you absolutely want to make sure you do. There's nothing fair about any of it, Misha. You're right, and I'm sorry. And you know what? Kristen Melinda's right. But I'm not trying to bum anybody out, right? I promise you, I'm not trying to bum anybody out. But fair waved bye-bye a long time ago. Fair doesn't exist, people. There is no, I'm sorry, but there's no such thing as fair, right? I wish that we lived in a world that it was. Hello, Matrix Rabbit. You can have anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. Come on in, it's around the back, just a half a mile from the railroad tracks. The Arlo Guthrie, right? Isn't that Arlo Guthrie? Pretty sure that's Arlo Guthrie. They used to play it 24 hours in a row on Thanksgiving Day. That's kind of a tradition around the world. Radio stations will put it on and they'll run 24 straight of Alice's Restaurant. And yeah, Crafty Witch says nothing's fair. I did a show on this. I did a show called Fair. And I'll be honest with you. This is a problem with us. It is a problem with us because we begin to believe that maybe, just maybe, that we're supposed to be treated a specific way, right? I mean by not people. You have every right to demand that people treat you a specific way. If they don't, get them out of your life. That's legit. What we can't control is the 5% that life is going to throw at us that we just can't get out of the way of, right? There are things that life's going to throw our way that we simply can't dodge, right? We're going to get hit with it. The question becomes, what are you going to do with the 95% that you got left? That's the question. What do you do with the 95%, right? The 95% is how you react to the things that happen. None of them are good. And I'll be honest, right? Misha, I think you're a star for how you have reacted to this. For real. Roberta, I'm a bit of an old guy, right? I'm a bit of an old guy. Thank you, Sharon H.O. That's very kind. Sierra Terry. I went to have breakfast when Alice's Restaurant. By the time the song was done, I had finished my dinner. Yeah, it must have been a large dinner. And yes, Alice's Restaurant is the best. A local radio station used to play it at Thanksgiving. It is still one of those things that's done in most places. Most big cities for sure will always be one station, one rock station will be doing 24 hours of you can't have anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. I just want justice, right? Society, the government, those who swore to serve and protect. I'm going to own them. That's what I'm going to do. I don't blame you at all, right? I think that's completely legit. By the way, I'm forever telling people that I disagree with them, especially in the exact same situation. Really. Very often I will say to people, you know what? You're hanging in this and it's going to destroy you. I don't think this is the case here. I think that this is important. I think it's important to you, right? And I think it's important to the world. And I think that what you're doing is awesome. You have my thoughts and my prayers and always my support, Misha, because I know that what you're going through is, well, I couldn't handle it. That's right. Kiss migrants. Flo, you got it. Love it. I'm dodging as hard as I can, and I just got slammed by the ball. So, yeah. Leslie girl, how are you? Kestrel, I get it. I do. I get it. Right. An occurrence, isn't it? Let's be really honest, people. We're all getting it handed to us a little bit. Hello, kitty. Come over here. We're all getting it handed to us a little, right? But it's the reason that we end up with the reason that we need peer support as badly as we do, right? Because there used to be a time where we all had enough friends, we all had enough community, we all had enough clubs and groups and sports and teams and all of those things that we used to do that was normal. I look back when I was growing up, right? I was thinking about this the other day because we're working on a book. I'm going to talk to you about Spanky here shortly. Kate 76, thank you. I was waiting until everybody got here, and then I was going to do a Spanky update. But I was thinking today about when I was a kid, and I would head on down to the local rec center, right, to play in the summertime. I would go down for swim team. I would go down there to compete, and my dad would be playing summer league baseball. Summer league basketball, and that court was right by where I used to swim. And then towards the end of the day, we would go down, and my dad and I would play summer league lacrosse, and it was like it's a club sport, not a school sport. So my dad, who was in his late 40s at the time, was playing on the same team I was. But we did things as a society. Everybody was out doing things, right? We all hung out together. Well, those days are done. And now what we do is we suck back inside ourselves, right? We just continue to withdraw and withdraw and withdraw and withdraw. It's actually kind of depressing. Caddy says, I used to have faith in the judicial system, but no more. Well, you know what? There's a lot of that going around. There's a lot of people who are losing faith in the judicial system. Well, you know what? If we were to, my boy lived on that court. Piano Man, I bet he did. Well, and I remember when that court was green before they painted it red, right? Beautiful, beautiful rec center. I was blessed to hell to grow up in that part of the world. Call me Matrix Rabbit is heading to bed. Please, my friend, be safe. Always an honor to have you here, truthfully. Yeah. So I certainly am not making light of the fact that they're trying to say that this guy's not fit to stand trial. I can't imagine how frustrating that's got to be. I just want you to understand exactly what that means, because it doesn't mean he's going to skate. It doesn't mean that he's going to be able to walk out and go someplace. It never means that. It means they have to put him someplace until they can get him fit to face the music, to go back and face the trial. Now, do some people never get out of those facilities and spend the rest of their life there? Some of them do. But I'll tell you something. You'd rather be in prison. Think about it. You would rather be in prison. If you think you're dodging a bullet by going to a place where instead of having bars and all that, you're more like a hospital setting, what you have now is the same group of people who are in prison, right? Violent men, very often alpha males, violent, unpredictable, and now wildly mentally ill. Huh? Well, that's a better bet, isn't it? Right? What could possibly go wrong? Right? What could possibly go wrong? It's kind of a frightening concept, isn't it? But that's where those people go, and then they hang out there, and the staff works round the clock to get them medicated, doing well, whatever they got to do so that person can go back and stand trial. The amazing thing is how fast most of those people decide that they're sane after they get a look at the inside of that place. Today makes 8 weeks clean for my cousin. He's 4 weeks out of rehab. He has said goodbye to bad influences and had started journaling to support his success. Thanks to everyone on the boat for all your support. Layla, I love that. I love that. Kristen Melinda says, I can confirm I had colleagues who worked in those places. Yeah. The guys, it's astounding how fast they realize they made a mistake. I've talked to guys that have gone in there, right? Is it a cell type situation? Yeah, it is. But the cells are a little bit different in that you got a bed, you got usually a television. It looks a lot like a hospital room, but they lock that door, right? You're not getting out. You're in a hospital style room, but they're locking that door. I promise. So one way or the other, and by the way, anybody that's been in prison long enough has had to go to a hospital, right? And when you get brought out, when I had the stroke, I was sitting in there with U.S. Marshals guarding me, and I had a chain on my ankle that had me chained to a bed, right? So, I mean, it never feels like anything but prison, no matter where you are. Kelly Gerling says, I don't think we ever had the representative republic we were taught we had. We're just discovering this now. Community is more important than ever in these times. Well, there's a lot of truth to that, in my humble opinion. I know that, and we're gonna dodge this. I know there's a lot of people who are pissed off, and a lot of people who are really, really happy because yesterday there was a really big decision that got handed down, and we're not going to talk about it because it's too hard for people to talk about stuff like that without getting so emotionally invested that they will hate people that don't agree with them. Even here, and we're a pretty good group of people, right? But we're not going to do any of that. What I'm going to do instead is say that no matter which side of the equation that you fall down on, right, on that, we start looking really bad on the world stage. No matter how you look at it, we look like a banana republic. And to me, that's a bummer. No matter what happened, we just look really like we don't know what we're doing. It's kind of a frightening thing to me, but we shall see what happens, right? The beautiful thing, people, is that my entire life, I've been listening to people who said, you know what? This is going to destroy us. I've been here. We do look like a joke, but I have been hearing this for the entire time I have been alive. What just happened politically is going to destroy this country. We've done a lot of bad crap that you would have thought would have destroyed this country. We have a way of bouncing back, and I don't necessarily think it's because of the great people we have at the helm. I think it's because the spirit. Probably going to make a lot of friends, but the spirit that built this country really was different. It really was. There was a kind of pioneering, thing that everybody, there was that spirit that was just very unique, and I think it carries over. Lynn Sanity says, I have had to unremove myself from that whole thing. My mental health is more important. You know what? If I had a hat on, I'd take it off. People, there are a lot of times in life where you simply have to say, I got to remove myself from the whole thing because my mental health is more important. In fact, memorize that friggin' sentence. Right? Carol Ann says, remembering the 60s, thought we were done. How about 68? Wasn't that the year? 1968? Right? Assassinations and riots, and it was over, wasn't it? We thought it's never going to get any worse than it is right now. I think it was 68. If I'm wrong, then it must have been, but it's right in there, 68, 69, somewhere in there. But a lot of bad stuff happening, race riots. It looked like the world was burning down. Didn't look like there was any chance we were ever going to. Roberta Daybell. I don't think we're going to see Daybell on a yard. Yes, Caddy, I do remember what the spirit was like after 9/11. We did come together as a world, not just a country. There were a lot of people that were really, there was that moment that it felt like, you know what, no matter where they were, people were going, that's just not right. Those people aren't soldiers. That was just wrong. Hello, Alan Ballantyne and Better Half. Half, good to see you. I'm not putting them on blast. I'm not sure if you heard, but they're kind of an item. If you've been somewhere else for a long time, you may not know that. We do need more cowbell. Now, Chad Daybell is going to get, he's going to get sentenced to death. I just don't think there's any chance in hell he doesn't get the death sentence, right? They haven't sentenced him yet, to the best of my knowledge, but I think you don't think they're going to give that dude the death penalty? So if you get the death penalty, you're not going to a yard. You don't go to a yard if you get the death penalty. You go to the death house, right? And death row is not just a record label. No, death row is a tough place to do time. It's very different than a yard. More often than not, they're not allowed out with other inmates. There's usually a small enough number of guys on death row that they break the day up into however many increments they get, hour and a half, 2 hours or whatever, that they're out of their cell. They can go and use the phone and microwave and take showers and do whatever they do, but they're not letting two guys out at the same time. I don't know about the state joints. I don't. But in the feds, that's how it works. And then if you've been there for, say, 5 months or whatever, 6 months, and you haven't had any write-ups, you have an opportunity to start going out and having one person go out with you, some other inmate, and they'll let the two of them watch TV together for an hour and a half or whatever. But it is a very, very difficult thing. It is not at all like a regular yard. It's just not. In fact, in the feds, they allow those guys to get chewing tobacco. Those guys can buy cigarettes. It's a completely different thing because, well, they're going to get killed. So I guess they just figure, they don't get out of the cell. They're not walking the yard. They're not. So we're going to give them, a little bit extra. The funny thing is, it's that. So the death row guys sit over the shoe, right over the segregated housing unit. So they're like directly above it. It's one floor above. And what they do is they'll break a hole into the wall where the vent is. And then the guys in the shoe will buy tobacco from the guys on death row who make a fortune selling tobacco to the guys that are in the shoe. The guys that are in the shoe will come back with drugs to trade the drugs for the tobacco so they can take tobacco to the yard and sell it. It's absolutely insane, but that is the way it is. You know what, Linsanity? There's no judging here. Linsanity says, reading the comment that is up, I just woke up from a nap and it shows in that comment. Well, I know where you're going with that. May have seemed a little double negative-ish, but I don't care. It worked. Sir Tedrick Walker says, awakened, going through an injustice myself with family. Tommy said 95% is how we respond. Nobody gets away with anything. God has final say-so. Damn straight. And you know what? If you're not a believer in God, then you can call it karma. And if you're not a believer in karma, you can call it whatever you want. But the world's got a way of bitch slapping people that deserve it. It's a true story. Comes back and it gets you. It really does. You're going to, and I'll tell you something else. Kestrel, go over and see Race. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Damien from the West Memphis talked about death row in his book. It's a good book. Nat B, I read it. I read that book. It's very disturbing stuff in his book where he described some people on the death row with him who were really mentally challenged. It was a guy that they would pay money to do just the most vicious things to himself. They would pay to watch this guy abuse himself. His book was a very difficult thing to read. Damien Eccles' book. I don't know if you've ever read it, but that book's hard to read. ASAP Lizzie, you're not gonna bother me with that statement. ASAP Lizzie says the golden rule is my religion. For those of you maybe, I don't know, somehow don't know what the golden rule is, it is to treat others the way you'd like to be treated yourself. Very, very heady stuff, right? Very heady stuff. This isn't the kind of crap that, people can say it. That's really, that's not an easy thing to do, man. Praying I receive justice. So glad you can vent here on the boat. We encourage it. We absolutely encourage it. Some people complain when people vent, but the venting, you see, is depending on what your verbiage or however you want to word it. But you know what it is, right? It's the opposite of suffering and silence. Feel me? Huh? It's the exact opposite of suffering and silence. It's telling the world you're in pain. It's telling the world you don't feel good, right? It's pretty good stuff. Karma is real. Usually you can find one of them on the stage at your local gentleman's club. Along with a nice collection of automobiles too. Guaranteed to find you a Porsche, one Mercedes, and probably a Lexus, right? Right up on stage. The venting connects us. It is the glue that binds us, Goddess Divine. I believe that. Venting grateful to have been able to come here too. We love you. Miss you, right? You didn't get an easy hand. No one is going to judge you for anything that you're doing or going through. Are you kidding? I'm not trying to drag you through anything or relive this, but if you're brand new here, she lost a baby in the hardest way that you possibly can. Fent took her child, and there's a lot of injustice that is happening, and it's got to be hell for you, Mish, right? But you've been with us the whole time. No one's ever going to judge you for the days that this is more difficult. Not here, they're not. Okay? They might want to do that somewhere else because I'll get rid of them quick as hell. We're better than that. I total heard and thought you said the golden ratio. Maybe I saw too many building plans this week. Good Lord. The golden ratio. No, I was not. Hello, Lisa Black. I did not mention the golden ratio. Hanging with Ray Ray. Yeah, you don't see as many Carmen Diaz in the clubs, but yeah. Karma is wonderful. No question. Instant calm is going to get you. Yeah. The golden ratio is a beautiful thing too, make no mistake. My family never practiced a religion, but they said just follow that rule. Well, you know what, Body Illusion? They could have done a lot worse than that advice, couldn't they? They could have done a lot worse than that advice. Lori Hart, I did the 31st day of walking today and then spent 4 hours with a friend, went to lunch, walked all over and laughed a lot. So tired. Forgive me if I fall asleep. We hope you do. It's a great way to fall asleep after a day like that, huh? Sounds like a hell of a day, Lori Hart. Sounds like a hell of a day. I love that. 4 hours with a friend, right? After walking. That sounds just freaking lovely, man. It really does. Tell me it doesn't. Hello, Raven the Valkyrie. Still on baby watch. Man, you better get your hiney in here when that baby is born and start leaving messages on the on some of the comments, because I'm gonna, you let us know so I can put it up here on the boat. We'll put up a post and let everybody know the baby and the stats and all that fun stuff. Right? Baby's gonna have more aunts and uncles than any kid on earth. Am I right? Kelly, right? I was thinking snail shells at that moment. Really? You were thinking about the what do they call that? Nautilus? What do they call those things? Is it Nautilus? It is. It's Nautilus. Ted Crosby. Wow. Ted, you can hang out here all day. Says, I don't look a day over 35. You are a liar, but my favorite kind of liar. Body Illusion. ASAP Lizzie says, I too was not raised with religion, but treating people with kindness and respect was a rule, and a good one. God bless your parents. Thank you. We better know. Yay, babies, says Raven the Valkyrie. Okay, people, listen, now that we're over here on this channel, I didn't know that Quibs was going live. I really didn't. We had talked about it, but I wasn't 100% sure that she was going live. Since she is, you want me to tell you a secret? She's probably leaking this over there on the other channel. But Quibble's not married. You heard? She's not. That process had been going on for a while, but it is official, and she is no longer married. And I think that for her, that was probably a great decision. I think that she is a happier human being right now. She's feeling somewhat liberated, I think. But it came through considerably quicker than she had anticipated, right? We had thought that was probably going to happen a couple of months down the road. Because they got it done so quickly, it does push the timetable slightly. On the bright side, this ain't been a vacation. I haven't been sitting around with my feet up, people. We've been cranking this place to get it together and ready to go. But the Lori Hart says it was a great day and one I couldn't have done 6 months ago. I have learned to expand my comfort zone. That is the coolest thing I've heard all day, Lori Hart. Quibs being divorced was a good one too, but this is amazing. It really is. Everybody catch that? You're double streaming, Jamie Palmer? Boy, you know what? I love you guys. You guys are the best. Yeah, congratulations for Reese. I think that that's a beautiful thing, man. Wow, in Canada, you have to be separated for 12 months before you can file. How unusual, Nat B. I don't know. I think I might like that. I really do. She's your soul sister, huh, Raven? Good. That's a good thing. I like the way she thinks. I really do. She's got an incredible sense of humor. We laugh. In case you watch me on the other channel with Quibs, we laugh that hard when we're not live. We really do. We laugh all the time. It's really a good thing. Yeah, you know what, Ray? I'm on box duty again, man. Except this time I've been buying bigger boxes. Uh, they do require, divorce requirements do vary by state to state. That is absolutely the truth. Uh, I'll tell you something. The Yeah, this has been a different kind of a move, but I've gotten most of the boxes boxed up and put to. I would say the vast majority of them I filled. I shouldn't be doing this because I know it's just going to get me in trouble with my partner. But I filled three of the largest boxes that you can buy to ship anything, right? These are the boxes that you buy at a place like Home Depot or Lowe's, but it is the largest one that money can buy. They don't sell a larger box for moving. I filled one today. I shouldn't say that. I filled some of them today with ladies' shoes. We're talking about a big box. Like I'm not busting any chops, but we're talking about the biggest box you've ever seen, right? It's got to be like just about 3 feet tall. I would say it's almost a 3 foot cube, right? Might be a little bit smaller than 3 feet, but it's about a 3 foot cube. It's very, very large. I filled not one, not two, three of those puppies absolutely jammed from top to bottom with shoes. Yeah, I said it. Um, you know what, Lynn Sanity? You're a very kind person. Shannon Smith says she has 350 shoes. Well, I think that's a small estimate. I'm just saying. I'm going to be calling her Imelda Marcos from now on. The Anna Nicole thing worked really well, but she's got some Imelda stuff going in a big way. Big way. Big way. And then the others, I'm not even going to get into some of the other stuff. To her credit, she has been organizing and tossing some stuff. Not a lot of it, but she's tossing some stuff. Now B says, I have three pairs. Well, what's funny is I was dumb enough at one point to say to her, I'm not going to bust your chops about shoes because I probably have as many pair of shoes as you do. I'm a freak, right? I'm not like other dudes with shoes. I really have a shoe thing, right? I'm super into shoes. I probably got 30 pair. You know what I mean? And for a dude, that's a lot of shoes, right? Like I have more shoes than any guy I know by by a damn stretch, right? I got so many pair of shoes, but I'm not in the I am not in the ballpark. You know, Casey, it's funny that you say that. Yeah, she absolutely is. But and no, I don't normally discuss anything like this with people because it's usually something that but I have discussed this very openly with her. And oh no, you spoke of a woman's shoes. There's nothing correct you can say. Nothing. I know. There's no going back. Alan, no, no. I am absolutely standing up for quips. No, I think it was an issue at a time in her life. Absolutely believe it was an issue at a time of her life, and we've actually talked about it quite a bit. And I truthfully and wholeheartedly believe that she just she recently got rid of the problem. I mean, real recently. I think that very often we go to addictions as a way to cope with situations that are unbearable, right? Shouldn't shock anybody that is what we do. And I think that that's what was going on. Had been a unbearable situation in a lot of ways for a long time, and it's not anymore. Which is, or well, it still is, but it ain't going to be for long. Thank you, ASAP. It's a kind thing to say. Lord, when my grandmother passed, we found an entire closet full of shoes, enough bedroom slippers to service a nursing home, which is where they went, and 50-ish pair of glasses. Wow, 50-ish pair of glasses. Do you know if I had 50 pair of reading glasses, I still wouldn't be able to find them? I'm not joking. That's just the way it goes. It doesn't matter how many of them I have. I had a shoe thing and then purged a lot, but slowly working back to the 50-ish pair that I had before. Okay. Okay. See, Crafty Witch has a few thousand comic books. This may come as a shock to you guys. I got a lot of watches. I got a lot of watches. In fact, that's what I kept saying when she's like, don't pick on me. I said, look, man, I got a lot of watches. I collect stuff. I don't give anybody any crap for things they collect. Shannon Smith says, flooding often tends to get rid of clutter. Wow, did for me. Yeah. Yeah, that's really probably some truth. Alan, you're going to be in trouble. Not me. Sounds like you're going to be the one in trouble. Not me, man. I'm good. I'm good. Fortunately, I mean, Quibs jokes a lot. If you see us live, she jokes a lot. I'm really never in trouble with my partner. She's we really get along quite well. We do play up a character pretty toughly on the show. It's by design. I mean, we're doing just that. How did we get the old guy today? Okay, let's bring that up. It's about that time. So Spanx Calhoun went for the last of his dental procedures today. This one was the most rugged of all of them, to be sure. And when he called me after the procedure, um, I mean, he's not able to. He cannot enunciate at this point any words. So there was no way in hell I was going to let him do anything tonight. I'm not going to let him do anything tomorrow either. I'm going to be packing, but I'm not letting Spanky do anything tomorrow. He's messed up. And I saw the X-ray beforehand. He sent me the X-ray. He was in there a long time. I was starting to get pissed off. I think he was starting to get a little angry. I don't know if I said hi, my Melissa, but if I didn't, hello, Crafty Witch, how are you? He was starting to get a little angry. And he called me and he goes, "Hey man, they just brought in the A team." I got the text, and 2 seconds later, he texted me and he was like, "I'll call you when I get home. Like they're knocking this out right now. It's fast." And they got him out of there, but he waited a really long time. Yeah, Shannon Smith, tooth surgery is excruciating. Fortunately, they really did. They really did numb him up good. They really did prepare good. He said that it was not that bad once it started. Carol Ann says, recovering shoe whore. After retiring and moving to the desert, I only have purchased 2 pair. You move after retirement, you move to the desert. Do you live out in my neck of the woods? Are you in Zona? Crafty, I built a steampunk table with sprockets and resin. Really? You know who's into resin? Matrix Rabbit. There's a lot of stuff with it. That's really cool, though, man. The steampunk thing. I get people who are into steampunk that used to call because I repair watches. They would call and ask for watch parts, gears, anything that that's steampunk. They really love gears and stuff. But yeah, it's I dig steampunk. So Spanky is recovering at home. He's going to take all of today and all of tomorrow to kind of heal back. Oh, Vale, there you go. I love Vale. Spent a lot of time in Vale. Now we're going to be real. Vale is one of those places that is a great ski town, but it's better for the town than the skiing. Not picking on it. It's good skiing, but as far as I wouldn't think it is I wouldn't think it's the best skiing in Colorado, but that's my humble opinion. I have a bunch of miscellaneous gears for crafts. Yeah. Did you see the sconces I made that were steampunk? I have not. I have not. Yeah, Vale's a great town, isn't it? It's a great town. I liked Telluride, another great town. Breckenridge. Colorado's got a lot of great ski towns in it, but the greatest snow on earth, like it or not, is in Utah. Oh, not that Vale. Okay. Oh, in Vale, Arizona. I didn't know there was a Vale, Arizona. I'll be damned. Books are hard to move. I will absolutely do that, Caddy. I want to check those out. I will absolutely be asking them. So he's going to be gone tomorrow. I'm going to be here for both shows. So I'm probably going to, and it's Saturday. So in the morning, I'm going to do the regular morning boat show. But Saturday night boat tomorrow night, I'm going to be farting around. We're not doing a serious show. I'm going to do something silly tomorrow night. I could use a laugh. I think everybody else could use a laugh. We've been going hard for the entire month. This is tomorrow we start the first of the next month. It is no longer mental health awareness month, people. It has come to an end, right? Kind of a bummer. But what did I say at the beginning of the month? Do you guys remember? I'll tell you what I said. What I said was this: every single day of the year should be Mental Health Awareness Month. There should never be a month that we're not talking about mental health awareness. And the reason is pretty friggin' obvious, right? Because currently it's a plague in our country. It's a plague. The number of people in this country who are suffering with mental illness and addiction and all of the stuff that goes with it is literally staggering. So we're not going to treat this like it ended. Becca Jean, you could use a laugh. Well, I'm gonna be there for laughing, right? Well, Cedric, you would think, Sir Tedrick Walker, that shoes may be her thing. However, I would like to say that she's equal opportunity. She's not, while she is very fond of shoes, I don't think she's met a lot of purses that she's not fond of either. Every month is Mental Heifer Month for me. I love that. Yes, Jamie Palmer, absolutely a fact. Mental health awareness should be an everyday, year round thing, period. Well, I'm going to be doing my part to continue this going. And you know what I'm going to do tomorrow? I was thinking about this. I'm going to do this. It's a pain in my ass. And I've always said that I was never going to do this, but I'm going to, just because it'll be. So I moved. Surprised you guys didn't know that. No, I moved from Nevada. And when I moved from Nevada, I moved to Arizona. And what that means is that my driver's license from Nevada is no longer current or valid, right? So, with the exception of my social security number, nothing on that card is valid anymore. It doesn't matter. But I'm gonna bust it out tomorrow and let you guys check it out, and then I'll probably show you my new one. I want to block out a crap load of stuff on that one because it has things that I would just assume everybody doesn't know, like addresses and driver's licenses, numbers, and things that are current. But I'm going to show you the expiration dates on this thing, truthfully. And I'm doing it because I'm a little tired of the BS. Just it'll shut up a couple of folks, and I promise you I ain't doing it again. But I'm getting just a little tired of it. You guys are not you guys. You guys are great, but you know the those not burdened by deep thought. Do I have hair on them? You know what? Yeah, I got hair on the yeah, they need new material, no question. Uh yeah, I got hair on yeah, the Nevada one I got hair on. I do. I don't have a lot of hair. I don't have a lot of hair. I got the picture taken. I'm not joking you. I was 2 days out of prison. So yeah, I had hair. That was when I married my ex. I know I don't, Goddess Divine. I know I don't, but it's it's easy enough. The reason I never did it is because I don't want my driver's license and stuff out there, right? It's so easy to prove. The other one, truthfully, is I mean, do your homework, look it up, right? It's not a hard thing to see if somebody registers. It's really not a hard thing, but whatever. I'm going to make it a little easier. But yeah, the hair. So look, I'll be really honest, people. I'm not bald. Like when I grow hair in, when I allow the hair to come in, I get kind of this hair peninsula, right? The reason I'm doing it, Shannon Smith, is the expiration dates. Freaks, which is what I've been accused of. If you're a freak, you got to get a driver's license every year. You can't get a driver's license with a 2-year expiration date. You have to get I mean, every year you have to get a new license because they want to keep track of where these people are. They have to register, right, where they live. So, yeah, it's a hair island, a hair peninsula. Hey, you're pushing it, Valentine, right? Skull it. And actually, they call it a bullet. It's the bald mullet, right? The bullet. Wow. Sir Tedrick says, I personally can't stand clutter. Older I get, the more I purge. I'd like to take a tour of the house today, Sir Tedrick. I think it might kill you. It would drive you insane. You can't imagine the stuff that's all over the place. No, I don't have the cul-de-sac. The cul-de-sac's different. I've got the peninsula, right? It jets out. I don't have the cul-de-sac. That's the Dr. Phil look. Now, occasionally, if I got a couple of days off, and I don't shave. Once I probably went about 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I was when I wasn't doing the lifeboat. I had taken that couple of months off, and I shaved I did the Dr. Phil thing. I did it with a razor. I had the perfect Dr. Phil look. Man, it was the people that I was kicking it with at the time were laughing so hard. It was just too funny. Yeah, Shannon Smith, they're pretty easy to track, but these guys apparently, since the rest of the world doesn't get that, I'm just going to shut them up because it's not hard. Cul-de-sac with a car parked out front. Yeah, something like that. No, I don't have Dr. Phil hair. But when I shave my hair like that, you always just want to start talking like that. Whether you like Dr. Phil or not, his voice cracks me the hell up. And he says the weirdest things, man. He like expressions that other people say, but he doesn't say them right. He's just odd. Well, you can teach her, bring a horse to water, but you can't teach it algebra. He says the stupidest things. And I don't know, man. I'm not a fan. I know a lot of people like him. I know a lot of people that watch me like him. I get, people send me links and whatever. My problem with Dr. Phil is he's just, first of all, where did he become a doctor from? I kind of feel like, yeah, he sounds like Mr. Mackey from South Park. Well played, Kristen Melinda, right? But yeah, I think that he's a fake. I'm with Nat B. Like, yeah, he's a TV PhD. Where did this guy get his doctorate? And guess what? I don't think you need to have a doctorate. I don't. I think he could go out and do whatever he does without a doctorate. I'm not mad at him about that. But if I start calling myself doctor, right? Maybe people, if I start, calling myself doctor, someone's going to go, hey, doctor, where did you go to, where did you get your degree? I think that if you call yourself doctor, you got to be prepared for that. And my understanding is the guy his like mail order, basically. He got, mail order degrees. Not mad at him. That's how I got my college degree. When you're in prison, you mail order degrees. But I think he's a phony. I think that, Oprah was like, yeah, as a friend of mine, I'm just going to make him famous. And I think that's kind of how it went down. Bryce Cooley says the United States has a really crappy healthcare system and we don't have mandatory paid vacations. We have plenty of money to fund our balloon military budget to fight for Israel and the Ukraine, though. You know what, my brother? While I don't disagree with anything you say, we probably won't do, I'd like to avoid any of that because what we have found is that when we start talking about politics in any way, we tend to find people that come down on both sides of it. So I tend to try to stick to things that we will do everything within our power on to make sure that we don't disagree. And the reason is we've kind of gotten to a place now where, unfortunately, if somebody says, hey, I'm a Democrat, half the people in the room are going to hate them. And if somebody says, hey, I'm a Republican, then the other half of the room is going to hate that person. Where we used to be able to handle those kinds of discussions and where we could benefit from those kinds of discussions, right? People would say their point of view and someone else would say, hey, I disagree, but here, and it really does sometimes actually expand a person's knowledge, or it takes somebody a little outside their comfort zone to something maybe they hadn't thought about before. It was a beautiful thing. And it's mother effing dead. Sadly, it's just not done anymore, man. Hey, Bryce, I love you, man. And I agree with what you say. So please don't say it anymore. Because I don't want to have someone block it. And that's what'll happen. Because we don't discuss politics. The only time that we do it all, it tends to have something to do with drugs, right? Sometimes I have to talk about it because the intersection of drug addiction and politics, right, has to do with drugs being smuggled across our border. And that is the second largest budget that we have in this country, right? That inflated military budget you were speaking about is second only to the war on drugs. And whether you like our country or our military, it's got a much better record than our friggin' war on drugs, which we have literally never done anything. We've not had, Not only have we never had a win, I don't think we've ever even done well in a battle. The drugs come across unabated. We when I started doing heroin, it was $300 a gram. Now it's 30. That's well, and now it's also synthetic and not real. But even when it was real, it had gotten to the point where it was so cheap because they can it comes across kind of untouched, and that's sad, but it's the truth. And currently, fentanyl is the fentanyl and nits, right? Nitazines, phyto and isonitazines. These are the plagues currently that are on our street, and it's killing, depending on who you believe, right? At a minimum, a couple of hundred people a day. I'm here to tell you that that math doesn't add up. They keep telling us it's between 190 and 210. But when they were telling us it was 90, we were here on the boat. We're telling you it was 190 to 200. And when they upped it, we've always been a lot closer to right than they are. And we think it's probably somewhere between 3 and 3.5 a day. Right? But no matter whose mother loving math you use, and no matter whose statistics you believe, it is the number one cause of death in our country. You are far more likely to die of a drug overdose than anything else at all. Right? At all. All right, Valentine, you know what to do, right? The first one just disappears. The next one will be the person, but lose the comments because I'm not doing this anymore. Sorry. Yeah, butterscotch is fantastic. I was talking about butterscotch the other day, and I am a fan. Always been a fan of butterscotch. It's one of those things that old people carry in their pocket. I personally don't, which is always kind of an issue around here. And the reason is I am considerably too young. Hold on one second. Oh, nice. Sorry. Thank you. Hot fudge banana split. Here you go. Started working in bars at 19 before I even learned how to pour. I was told, don't talk politics, don't talk religion, learn young. Damn straight, right? Here's what's really funny is we know what's going to happen. We know the buttons, right? Especially like if you've done this for any length of time. I know the hot button issues, right? If I make a thumbnail tomorrow and it says something like, let's talk about abortion, right? You want to see me lose an audience? You want to see me lose half of my subscriber base? Doesn't matter which side I come down on. Irrelevant. Doesn't matter because there are hot button issues. Why would we do anything to segregate ourselves into smaller communities? The truth of the matter is anyone who comes here and spouts a political viewpoint ain't doing it for any other reason other than what, right? It's not part of the discussion. So chances are these are people that pop into chats and leave those comments everywhere. And I understand where people are coming from, right? It's passionate. It's inside them. I love it. I love it. Tommy Scoville at gmail.com. Tommy Scoville at gmail.com. That is my email address. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things would be nice. Yeah. Now, I'll tell you something else. Are we doing everything right? No, we're not. I don't think we're doing anything right. What do you think of that? I don't think we're doing anything right. For real. But unfortunately, we're in real trouble, right? We are in real trouble. And it's not, I promise you, people, no matter how much we're thinkers. And you know what? We got some thinkers on this boat. I'm not being funny. We got some really intelligent people that watch the lifeboat. But we could put all of our heads to this, and I don't think that we're going to come up with a solution, right? The results bear that out, says Carol at Needing a Meeting. People, if you've never caught needing a meeting, shame on you. You absolutely need to. It is I'm as proud of that as anything that's going on the lifeboat, for real. How's that working for you? Yeah, he's Dr. Phil really is something, isn't he? I don't think anyone does anything the right way ever. Life is always a learning curve. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you something. I got really excellent at doing everything wrong. I did. Ice cream rules and old people candy of choice are cinnamon discs. Yeah, you know what we used to call those? We didn't call them cinnamon discs. Inside of prison, those are called starlight mints. Talking about the white and the red ones, they'll kind of look like a swirl that they cut into little sections and then twist between clear cellophane. Eh. Those are called starlight mints. I'm sorry, did just make it in a minute ago. What's the problem you're discussing, Tommy? Oh, I don't know. I don't remember which one we were starting on. Oh, I know what it is, Tommy Bird. Somebody came here and left a couple of comments, none of which I disagree with, but they're very political stuff. They really are, and they're not like overtly political. It's pretty, it's stuff that just about everybody probably could agree with. Like we're spending too much money outside the country and not taking care of our own. Okay, I don't think that's a wild right, but it's not what we do here, right? Because I don't want to. God forbid somebody comes here going, I've heard this lifeboat people can help. You know what I mean? Okay, the cinnamon ones are different. Okay, gotcha. If somebody shows up and thinks, I've heard that, they talk about drugs or, alcohol, and they try to get people, to get clean or they help people, who are just suffering. They say, don't suffer in silence. You hear all this stuff about the boat, right? And then you show up here and the first thing you read is about Ukraine or Israel. No, man. No. Hell no. How about that? Hell no. Tell you what, once we get this pesky drug thing taken care of, we'll work on everything else. How would that be? But for the time being, hey, Mo Love, for the time being, this is my Super Bowl. This is my World Series. This is the only thing I'm fighting. The only way we should talk anything like that is if you choose to talk about it first. It's your channel. You decide the topic. It's called respect. Thank you, Jamie Palmer. I really appreciate that. Now, I'll tell you something. The reason I don't allow it is out of respect to you, right? I don't know what your belief is. I don't know what the next person's belief is. You know what I do know? I don't want to step on anybody's feelings. I don't. I'm not in this to bum anybody out. It's not why I started this. I really wanted this channel to lift people up. I wanted this channel to be a place that people could come and feel positive. Right? And I said in the very first show, man, I'm not going to talk about religion. And I said, you can say God bless you. You can say I'm praying for you. You can say I wouldn't be here without God. No problem. You can't say my God's better than yours. That's where we start running into problems. Or you're too smart to believe in a God. That's offensive, right, to people who believe. So we don't allow offensive stuff to take place. And politics falls into that category because there are going to be people who get in their feelings. And I don't want anybody to get in their feelings. Now, I said in that very opening show, hey, man, I'll tell you what, sometimes politics and drugs are going to run into each other. And when they do, I'm going to come on here and I am going to unrepentantly, I'm going to come on here and I'm going to talk about it. And I'll tell you something else. I ain't going to make any friends, I promise you. But before this election, I'm going to figure out who's got the better plan at the border. Because I promise you, they're going to have to lay it out. And I'm going to tell you which one I think's the better plan. Because for me, that's the only one I'm looking at. Sorry, but it's the truth. That's the issue for me. That is the most important thing in the world. Because to me, the number one cause of death in this country needs to be something other than mother-loving overdoses. That should not be the number one cause of death in a civilized society. No, that's just not right. I'm working on a Lifesaver Orange. Do you mean these? Because these things, the orange mints, I can go through a bag of these in about 45 minutes, man. It's like these things are just ridiculous. If you look at them, they have small little like orange things on them. Oh, yeah. I'm not going to put it in because they're crunchy and obnoxious, but I am going to be putting it in as soon as I'm done. Got a bag of them here. I always have a bag of them. Some of my favorite books. All right, I can do that. Well, let me see. You know what, Mo Love? Yeah, it it is. It is. The but it sadly is. I'm not going to do that one either. I'm just not. Butter rum lifesavers are good. They absolutely are. They're absolutely big. Hef made me try a cinnamon pop. Oh, cinnamon pop tarts. Uh-oh. The pop tart is I ate a lot of pop tarts. I ate a lot of them while I was incarcerated. It really did. Um, Spanky has the feet up. Well, that's what I like to hear, Spanks. No more talking. Just relaxing. I told him earlier. You want to communicate, do it with your fingers, right? Um, get some Werther's original popcorn. I really want to run down the bag, but I have to Fig Newtons out and espresso hazelnuts and cocoa cashews already. Yeah, I know, ASAP. They did. I know. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to do that. Um, I'm. What for, Calhoun? You good? You're good. You didn't do anything, Calhounus. On trip. You didn't do a damn thing. You're all right. You're all right, Calhoun. You're all right. The Werther's with the apple inside. Yeah, I decided I'm not going to do that, Shannon. I'll be really honest with you. You know what, people? I'm not. I'm just not the man that I used to be. I'm a simple woman. I have a giant Hershey bar. Lori Hart. If I do Hershey bars, they need to have almonds in them. Just one of those things that. Yeah. How about this? Marcus Aurelius, right? Sun Tzu, The Art of War. If you stuck with those two, you'd be fine. Right? And then probably the Bible. If I only had 3 books that I could read, those would be the 3 books. It would be Marcus Aurelius, it would be Sun Tzu, The Art of War, and it would be the Bible. And if I could only have 3 books, that would be it, and I'd be set because you can continue to read those every day, and you're never gonna get through them. You're just simply not. So, Kristen B says, "Why is everyone wanting me wanting? Why is everybody making me want to get up and get a snack?" Well, it's pretty amazing how. All right, you know what? I'm gonna call it a day, peeps, because I I'm gonna call it a day. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call it a day. But tomorrow morning, I'll be back here. I'll be covering for Calhoun tomorrow. Hershey bar slathered in peanut butter. Yeah, I'm. I've always been of the opinion that peanut butter makes chocolate better. Why, thank you. Sorry, that was an accident. But thank you. Tommy says, I like some books, fiction, because real crap is either boring or sucks. I guess I don't consider the Bible an actual book. Scripture is different, I guess. Well, it's for some of us. All right, peeps. We'll catch you here tomorrow, I guess. All right. How did I do? For real. I made it an hour and 10 minutes and I'm leaving. And I'm not 100% sure on this, but I don't think I called anyone an asshat, did I? Huh? Did I say anything mean to anybody? I don't think I did. I don't think I did. Good. All right, peeps. Maybe I can get through another one tomorrow, huh? We'll try. I wouldn't put any money on it, though. It's not always easy. See you guys tomorrow. All right. Have a good one.